share a little bit about orchard and the greenhouses. As you can see, this is the area. We've cleared all kinds of brush and trees. This would be still the shed is up on the hill there. And all this area is going to be developed, but it had to be cleared first. More brush. All this was, burned eventually. Again, more shots of the empty field before all the construction. Here, the king's tiny home has arrived. That shed was moved to here. You can see still all kinds of trees on the hillside that haven't been cleared yet. They're just the beginnings of the waterfall. They laid down a black plastic tarp so that they could construct over it. And you can see we're putting in markers for where the orchard trees are going to be planted. Now, this is much later on where the Korean tiny house, the Japanese tiny house have arrived. This house is being built for Shigeru's family. The greenhouses have been, put up. So things really changed. Here's another shot up the hillside there. All this area has been planted, and it's grassy now. The spring is, of course, really beautiful here. You can see that this is the dojo, motorcycle garage that was created, that was built. Joe Dispenza and his team have been just incredible. All the things that they have built and put up. Over here is a tea house, which I'm going to show you later. A couple of travel trailers up there. And here's the beginnings of the home for the third king. So he can live on the property and raise his family here. Another picture is the third king's house is being built. And these orchard trees were, just beginning to grow enough where they can start producing some fruit. Down closer to the entrance is the campground area. I showed you this picture where people stand there all winter. Again, this is close to the water table, so we had to put in gravel. Paul Addis and his team have been building cabins down there. You can see this cabin, one was built already there. Tents, here's just an example of the mountains of gravel that have gone into this property. We're very fortunate. Again, I think God prepared. There's a quarry where we can buy gravel just a very, very short distance away, and a lumber mill very close by. So we couldn't have asked for a more prepared place to build this community, this little kingdom of heaven. Platforms were built for these kind of yurts for camping. Here's a finished cabin. Back here's another one. There's two cabins and two platforms. A lot of times for holiday events, King's family and guests will eat breakfast here. Waterfall and the pond. I mentioned this is a lot of the brush that was cleared. The pond is up here. This is where the waterfall is going to be built. And so all this brush is downstream from the pond. And so we cleared all this, made a nicer little stream, and more, beautification is always taking place. Pond it needed to be cleaned up a lot. This is the hillside. The trail goes up to the spring water up that way. So we cleared trees back up the mountainside there. Here's the beginnings. This is the the base of the waterfalls, and more construction I showed you before. So we put water pumps in the pond to pump water up and recycle it through the waterfall. We got these I forget the name of these these plants. we bought, we only bought a few of them, but they multiplied like crazy. Here's bamboo, which we got, putting bamboo in the area for making Oriental garden. There's a little gift here. I guess that's a tiger. It came again, another picture of the waterfall. Here's the second king did these carvings of guardian crusaders with a chainsaw. Another view. Here's the guardians again. And the tea house was put in right on site there at the pond. The tea house is an area for the second king's office and a place for entertaining guests or counseling, or just it's also a studio where he's been doing parts of music videos. This is excavating a small pond here in front of the tea house. The big pond is behind the tea house. So there's going to be a waterfall in this area coming down to this pond. And we also brought the koi, had a huge number of koi brought down from a pond in Pennsylvania that and put in the pond back here. So this has become a really beautiful area. Now it's being, landscaping is pretty much finished, and the trees are growing, shrubs are growing, and waterfall. There's koi in this pond, koi in this pond. We have a fence here, nice Korean style fence. Excuse me. The lantern. This is the Korean tiny house down the hillside. Another one. Here's another view. It's a rock walkway over to the tea house. This is a view from behind. Okay, Swan Lake. In the beginning, this fence was here and was all muddy. This was just marsh. It was this old donkey shed there where they fed the donkeys, and it was a place where donkeys could go in the bad weather, I guess. Again, this whole field was marsh and muck. The remains of donkeys were there everywhere. Again, this different view. So this whole area was cleared and made into Swan Lake, which we call it Swan Lake. And you can see this. This is the spring that comes down from the palace pond, and this is being cleared. This whole area will be cleared. This is the beginnings of preparations for making that lake, excavating. Again, big equipment was brought in to prepare dig the hole, prepare all the area around it. We had to create a huge dam to hold this lake. I forget how, I think it's about 12 feet deep. And so the massive amount of dirt came out of the lake and then was used to build up a huge dam. Okay, here's a dam all around Swan Lake. In order to hold that amount of water, it really had to be a massive dam. And this excavator is digging, so we had to put an overflow pipe in Swan Lake. So when the rains come and it fills up, there's a way for the water to escape. So there's underground, there must be underground springs there because we didn't have to do anything to fill up the lake. It wasn't the amount of water coming down this stream was not enough to fill this lake, but it was filling up almost from the beginning. It became difficult to dig it out, actually. So here's a view from out towards the entrance of the property. This little island was kept in the middle. Here's an example of water overflowing the Swan Lake and going out the pipes. But when it rains, all the logs came up from the mud, floated around in the lake, and we had to clear those out. It was always mud, something to do. This pipe came down from the spring up on the mountainside so that we could have fresh water delivered down here. So we had various formation stage, growth stage development of the spring. Eventually we got a faucet on it and you could, get a drink here of the mountain spring water. This is one of the koi. I saw him swimming around in Swan Lake. Nobody put him there, so he must have gone in the overflow pipe up at the palace pond and wiggled his way down the stream until he finally got into Swan Lake. So here's another view of the lake. We put up a protective fence because I mentioned before, you got 59 children toddling around, so we have to be careful of potential danger. We're putting in, these guys are, one of our construction teams. They're putting in the bridge over to the island. Here's the island. This was just a few months ago. This picture was taken. Now the construction of a gazebo is going on out on the island, and we've got a dock in now. This almost finished, and when the second king's son Shinduk Nim gets blessed in June, it's going to be held here in the gazebo. So the welcome center and the shooting range. This is what it looked like in the beginning. Just a view. There's a valley that goes up the mountain there, but this whole land was kind of flat and marshy. So winter doesn't stop us. So they start building and always building. But you can see the snow and the mud that came in the early stages of building the welcome center. A lot of water comes down this valley and off this mountain. So we had a flood in the back. It almost flooded the welcome center. Joe Dispenza hurried over there with a pump to get the water out of here. This was a possible tragedy, but it was averted. A lot of brush, again, was cleared and burned. This is developing the shooting range that's going to be behind the welcome center for people to go shooting after church. This is the stream along the side of the road. It can get really massive when there's big rains. This across the road from the welcome center, the electrical company just cut down all these trees and just left them there so that they could bring that electrical wire down. The welcome center is going to be over here on the left. All these trees on the mountain, on the mountainside here, the king wanted this turned into a garden area. So all these trees were taken down. We had to hire guys to come in with, these kind of buckets to cut down the branches. And that was amazing work they do. Again, so much gravel was needed. big rocks and then smaller rocks and smaller rocks and gravel. You can see this whole hillside now has been cleared of all those trees. Now we've got roses growing here and many other things. This is the Welcome Center in the early days. Again, this is another picture of all the trees have been cleared, gravel there. We had to put in so much gravel because it would just disappear into the mud. Again, it's that gravel truck that got stuck. So here was the Welcome Center in the beginning. We had no, but as more and more people started coming, the shoes, of course, were all over here, and when it rained, everybody's shoes got wet, and people were taking off their shoes out here in the rain. So then we had to, okay, we need a roof that comes out here. Events started taking place right away as soon as the Welcome Center was ready to go. God's Day was celebrated here. Again, this is the clearing of all of those trees across the way. This is a picture back behind the Welcome Center. It's sort of the development of the shooting range. And these were put up as, tactical training. We had to bring in over a dozen loads of wood chips to have some kind of road to go back there. You can see all the trees were cut down, how much firewood there was. This area is across the stream from the Welcome Center, a bit of a flat area. The king was really concerned about the children knowing how to swim. So we brought in wood chips and made a base, put up a swimming pool, and we had swimming classes for the kids. This is Yumi Hoshino. She's a swimming teacher. So here's some of our construction guys. So here's the porch was added to the Welcome Center. Concrete floor was added. So now there's lots of space for people to sit outside. Finally, we got bathrooms. This took a long, long time. We've got concrete here in front now, men's and women's, only two genders. For the longest time, that's all we had for 2 years, maybe, just porta potties. The old shed that was originally here on the property was brought down as a nursery because we got so many babies and so many toddlers. So this was painted and set. This is the Welcome Center here, set right next to the Welcome Center. Inside is, chairs for nursing mothers and so forth. Playground for the kids. Gradually things are developing. Got a sandbox, got a ladder. Again, this is more what the shooting range looks like now. We've got these shooting stands. This is more of a view of the front of the Welcome Center now where events take place. In the back, this was originally what the back of the Welcome Center looked like. This was an open porch. That was eventually closed in and made the green room for the second king and queen to prepare before holiday events and so forth. So this has been closed in, and we've added a pavilion in the back, an open air pavilion for events to take place in the back. So this has been added now, and we're constructing walls, not complete walls, but half walls. Excuse me. Back of the Welcome Center here. Electricity, we'll have lights and fans and everything back there. Things always changing. Chickens and goats, this was a view early on from up on the hillside down towards the back of the barn. We got the chicken shed here, and got goats up on the hill there. They got baby chickens, and raised them. This is the chicken pen. This is the goat barn that was built. So always future event center. This is the uh, up on the mountain side overlooking our property is all over here on the right, and here's the highway, the main highway. So from up here on the mountainside is the perfect location to build a big church and event center. So that we can see the highway, but we can also see beautiful mountain view, and there'll be big glass windows so that you can look out and see the mountain views. This is an older sketch of kind of what the event center might look like. You've probably seen this before. So construction was started, tearing down trees, burning bush, more and more. This is went up there with the second king and talked about vision for what we're going to have up there. And really, it is an ideal location as far as the location goes, but there are quite a number of issues with building a building there. This is a view down. The properties over here, most of it, then this is towards the sawmill and so forth. And down here, just at the last Sunday service, it was announced that there's going to be a cemetery at Pyeong. It'll be in this area. Here's a picture which you probably don't know what this is. The history of this is that we have to build a septic system for an event center, and the mountaintop is all rock, and so we had to find a place where we could be allowed to build a septic system for all of the sewer water, or excess water from the event center. And so we ended up having to go 1,500 feet off the mountain, a long ways away, until we could. The government requires that you dig a hole that's 3 feet deep and you fill it with water, and that water has to disappear in just a matter of hours before you can build a septic system there. So this was a hole that was dug and it was marked so that they could come and do the tests. More trees. We had to bring in massive equipment to dig in the rocks. These rocks, the Rock Mountain is just unbelievable. What it took. They had to bring in the biggest equipment they had. This is a jackhammer. I don't know if you can tell very well from this picture. This is a giant jackhammer that was required to break up all these rocks. It's another picture of the jackhammer. So much rock was cleared, and then it was just like, they moved the back part of the new event center is going to be against the mountain, or going against the hillside. So all of the rock was dug out of here and pushed over here, made that big mound. This is the space that's going to be here in here. So this is where we are right now as far as the construction goes on the new event center. So we're doing outreach. As you all know, there's going to be many rallies this year for President Trump and the upcoming election. We've got the Trump truck. So if you haven't seen this, it's really something. It was signed by Donnie Trump Jr. on the side. We've got postcards that we can hand out, inviting people to Sunday service. We've got a sign up at the beginning of the property. We've got our own street. We've got our mailboxes. This is the entrance now. And we teach divine principle lectures. People are invited to my home or elsewhere. We can teach the principle, and really appreciate your attention. It's been really an amazing blessing to be here. My family, my wife and I were the first ones to move down here, and we were asked to move here by the second king. And from that time, we've been able to kind of see the progress and keep praying and asking God, what's going on here? So I really sincerely invite all of you to sometime come here, experience this place and feel the spirit here, and join in our community. This God is doing an amazing work here, and this is it's something to behold. It's the beginnings, just the beginnings, but it's a chance to feel and see, what God is doing in the world today on the microcosmic level. And every Sunday we have Sunday service. Wednesdays we have Korean service. Many, many different activities you can plug into. So think about it. Contact me, contact somebody else, and we can help arrange for you to come and visit. Thank you again for your attention, and God bless you all. May His kingdom come. Amen.